Let's talk for a minute about avoiding traps. In 1 Timothy 6, verses 8 through 10, we read, "But if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content. But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs." So it talks about falling into a snare, and specifically here talking about money and things, and not being content with what we have. Well, I pose to you we can learn from animals a little bit about avoiding traps. It comes to smell, sight, sound, things of this nature, our senses. And here we have an illustration of maybe a little fox wanting to get into his den, and somebody has put a trap there wanting to catch him for his fur. And that person is going to put something there that fox likes, doesn't it? And if you're not a trapper, this might surprise you, or a hunter of some type, but urine is one of the things that fox and some other animals seem to like. So they might dump some urine, some lure. We'll use that word lure there for that fox. And he has to be wise enough to realize something's not right. Even though it smells good to him, there's an attraction. He wants to go see it. He has to go around it, or it's going to take his life. It's going to ensnare him, if you will. Well, if you think about lures with animals, it's amazing how many things we can use to attract animals. Fishing lure, which is really food, isn't it? And a pile of nuts for some squirrels, maybe. That's food again. There's, again, a urine, a lure that bucks a deer-like. Here's a turkey decoy, a piece of rubber turkey decoy, attracting turkey. Might even call it a female there. We have a female that attracts animals and sometimes brings their downfall. And here's a bag of catnip, which is kind of similar to a drug, has a high effect, and that is an attraction. Draws cats into it and can get them into trouble. So lots of lures for animals. And it's similar with us as humans. Look at that. James 1:14, each person is tempted when he's lured and enticed by his own desire. We see things or whatever, hear things that attract us, and we go seek it out like an animal. Let's look here. Satan's snares for us can be broke down here in 1 John 2:16, can't they? All that's in the world, 1 John 2:16, desires or lust of the flesh, desires of the eye, pride of life. These are really the three high-level categories that everything falls into. So we have Satan here, and we have our eternal home in heaven we're trying to get to, and he's going to put something there we like, isn't he? It could be that money, which was in our first verse, that we covet, and it's a fall for many. It could be fame, pride of life, things of that nature that we're seeking. It could be sports and covetousness, if you will, and idols that we seek after. Nothing wrong with these things if done in moderation, but become the purpose of one's life, become, if you will, an idol at play. And of course there's the female, the decoy again, that things of this nature, the lust of this flesh, can attract us. And just like an animal, we need to learn to go around these things, to avoid these things. As one minister said, just say no. Just say no. But here's a word of encouragement. 1 Corinthians 10:13, no temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, but with the temptation, he will also provide the way of escape that you may be able to endure it. It often seems overwhelming and like there's just no way we can beat it, but there always is. We, if you will, just have to try harder.